Hello, vinyl community. I am Will Smith. Like many of you, I participated in Record Store Day by going to some local record shops and picking up some of the fine releases that were available. Normally, I would have gone to Randy's Records in downtown Salt Lake, but Saturday was also the Salt Lake Marathon. No one wants to deal with the road closures there, so I went to the record store that recently opened in Ogden called Lavender Vinyl. It also helps that I like the people up there. So bonus. The morning was cold, but I had that one record that I had to have being released for the first time as part of Record Store Day. So I was happy to stand in line, waiting for the chance to get that record. I couldn't figure out why we didn't move over 3 feet to get into the sun, rather than standing in the shade of the building. I also couldn't figure out why I had not bothered to bring a jacket, knowing that the morning would be decently cold, and there was a good chance that I would stand in line. But it was too late for that. I was there now. As usual, there was that one person, standing there in a short-sleeve tulle shirt that he somehow found at a thrift store, hands in pockets, obviously cold, but talking cool like it was nothing. Oh well, there I was, waiting and freezing. Whenever I am out, and this is in general, but especially when I have to stand in a line, I like to entertain myself by people watching. Usually I do this at the airport, but waiting in line at Lavender Vinyl did offer a great chance to people watch. First up, Rory. The only reason I know Rory's name is because he tattooed it on himself near the Gibson guitar head. I guess that way you won't forget it. All the rest of Rory's tats were about music, and from the way he talked, it seemed like he really did love the music. He talked about the concerts he had been to, the bands he had met, which ones were really cool and which ones sucked, and that upcoming he would be seeing Iron Maiden, because, of course, it was Maiden. Rory's son, whose name was Connor, sat on the sidewalk playing with a small figurine made of clear plastic. When Connor did get off the sidewalk, it was to run into the street, much to the concern of his father, and how I learned his name. There was the cool couple right in front of me that were very neat to talk to. They would take turns walking down the street under the guise of getting more coffee or to buy a bagel, but the real reason was that it would allow them to get warm. He was wearing sandals with toe socks, and I couldn't help but think that this was a bad choice and that he must be freezing. A yoga class got out, and the ladies from the class walked to their car parked on the street right next to the record shop, and then stared, as if suddenly realizing that there was a bunch of people on the sidewalk, and that wasn't usual. They asked why we were all out there, undoubtedly thinking that there was just a convention of crazy people that liked to be cold on Saturday morning there on 25th Street. Boy, did they laugh when I told them that it was Record Store Day, and that a bunch of new music was getting released today, and we were in line. I suspect that as they laughed and went away, the thought went through their minds that they were right. A crazy people convention was happening all right. One person, in particular, walked towards the line. He was wearing a white bandana as a do-rag, a black pullover fleece, and was smoking his hand-rolled cigarette in a way that seemed eager, while I would have expected it to be carefree. He stopped right in front of the record store to take a last long draw on his cigarette, which he could only hold with the very tips of his fingers, and then he flicked it away. All of this was interesting, but more interesting was trying to figure out why he was wearing red with white polka dot boxers over his jeans. Anyway, then the store opened, and I was the 7th person in the store. Rory picked up the record I had to have before I had a chance. He was the 3rd person in the store. And so I asked, "Is there any more Coheed there?" And he told me, "You can have this one. I don't care that much." So I got the one record that I had to have. Thanks for watching. I hope you had a good Saturday. Feel free to like and subscribe. And I'd love your comments with questions and what your had to have it record from Record Store Day 2017 was or is. Until next time, take care.